See you again this beautiful Saturday evening. It's rainy here in Aurora. I don't know how the weather is wherever you are, but all the same, thank you for joining us on today's episode of The Real Talk. Every Saturday is from 8 to 10 p.m. here on Westnile TV, lighting up the region, and of course with me, Lillian Ayot. Thank you very much for taking your time to be with us this evening. If your friends are not catching this show right now, please, I'll recommend that you also tell them to catch this show, because every Saturday we do different interesting topics that everyone is interested in, and we do value your feedback or your opinion on the different topics of discussion, where you can engage with us on our socials, that is on our YouTube channel and also our Facebook channel, where you can leave a comment and we'll have it read here and together, so that we are at par at whatever level of the conversation that we're having. Now today we are tackling a very sensitive topic that is a global issue, of course, and this is the issue of teenage pregnancy. I know each and every one of us has had an experience of this teenage pregnancy in your families or with your friends in your community, and we've seen how the country is struggling to deal with this problem, and also globally it's still an issue that we want to address. Now I know a lot of you have stories to tell about teenage pregnancy. Recently a friend was telling me about how she went to the village, you know, where she did her pre-primary school, and girls of her age were all mothers. I mean, some had 3, 4, 2 children, and then she was asking herself, but why? And she does not have a kid yet, she's not married. So that's when she came to realize that education plays a very important part in this. So there are very many reasons as to why teenage pregnancy is on a rise, and when we zero down Westnile region leading in the rate of teenage pregnancy. I know when Corona came along, we registered one of the highest numbers of teenage pregnancy in the country, and that has been attributed to a lot of factors ranging from a lack of information on sexual reproductive rights, and the community forcing the people, parents neglecting sexual abuse, among others. And we've seen this the consequences of this on the girls who have gotten married at a very tender age because they conceived, and also we see how it's affecting the community at large. So this comes with a lot, and that's why we have very many organizations in the country coming to fight this vice together with the government and also the community. People want to see that we get rid of this vice in our community, in our country, and also at the global level, but efforts have proved futile since the numbers are going up instead of going down. So the question is, what are we not doing right? Thank you for joining us, and today in the studio we have a guest coming from Westnile. Sorry, he'll have the opportunity to introduce his organization, but it's one of the locally based organizations here in Westnile that looks into the matter of teenage pregnancy. They're called SEFTRA Westnile. We have the ED, the executive director, here in the studio. He's called Mr. Drisley Godfrey. You are most welcome to Westnile TV and here on The Real Talk. Kindly say hi to all viewers.
Good evening to all viewers. Good evening, Ayot. It's nice to be here. And once again, this is your home.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Godfrey Drisley. I'm the Executive Director of Community Empowerment for Transformation Action Westnile. We can normally call it SEFTRA. Yeah, SEFTRA is a local-based organization that operates in the Arua and Terego, and in most parts of the West Nile. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, SEFTRA, for the job well done. I mean, I've seen some of the activities that you've done across West Nile, and particularly in line with teenage pregnancy. I must say, good job right there. And now we are here to discuss this issue that everyone is trying to understand what we are not doing right. But before we go into the matter, let's understand what teenage pregnancy is.
Thank you very much. teenage pregnancy is actually, before I define it, I can say it's a global disease that is actually affecting the whole world. That doesn't exclude Westnile. So teenage pregnancy, in a simple understanding, this is when a girl who is or a woman who is underage gets pregnant. Maybe girls between the age of 15 to 19. So that's what we call at that age of teen, when they conceive, when they get pregnant. That's when the issue of teenage pregnancy comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quickly, before we tackle it generally, I want us to zero down to Westnile. Paint us a picture of teenage pregnancy here in Westnile, and I believe you may want to redefine the age bracket from 15, because I believe here it goes a little bit down. So quickly help us paint a picture of teenage pregnancy in Westnile.
Yeah, as Westnile as at large, we are not really doing well when it comes to the issue of teenage pregnancy. We remember when we get when COVID came, because our numbers really shoot high when COVID came. You can imagine that there are districts that like Terego that host the refugees, districts like Yumbe that host the refugees. So the rate of teenage pregnancy really also went very, very high in the COVID. So that means that leaves us with a lot of challenges. When a lot of girls go down, with a lot of girls can't reach 18, can't celebrate the 18th birthday before you see maybe that transition to adulthood. So that means that's sort of a big risk to the girls' fraternity, because actually the region as Westnile we're not doing well, as I said. Arua, Terego. Now of late, actually Terego is leading, because if you look at the current report, Terego is leading, and then followed by Yumbe, also Arua City. So because these two districts, the fact that they host the refugees, so then you can imagine what goes on when a lot of people who are a lot of people who are doing a lot of things, the kind of the lessons that keeps going on. So that brings the number really so alarming. So that means from Western perspective, when it comes to the issue of teenage pregnancy and the early marriages, we are not really we are doing badly as a region. Yes.
And aside from the regional bit of it, I also believe as a country, we are not doing well in East Africa. We should be the leading country when it comes to the number of teenage pregnancy in the East African community. But like I said, a lot of people have been wanting to understand why the numbers are going up rather than coming down, because there has already been a lot of effort in that. And one of the reasons that has been given as to why the numbers are going high is because a lot of girls still don't have access to information on sexual reproductive health. I don't know how you can justify that as SEFTRA.
Yeah, that is very, very true. That is very, very true. The issue of information on sexual reproductive health information, because you see, I think also at times the cultures of culture perform a lot of roles in this, because accessing some of this information in cultural time, people see that as something like a taboo, telling the girls maybe to go when you bring issues of, let's say, issue of contraceptives, it doesn't go well with some cultures within. So when talking issues of contraceptives, maybe getting pills, getting protected, so culturally it doesn't go very well, and yet these are things that keep contributing to teenage pregnancy. So that information, that misconception that the cultures put, those cultural norms that sees issue of contraceptives bad. You find a case, parents will find it very difficult to discuss issue of contraceptives, maybe issue of that when a girl is supposed to get contraceptives, maybe when to protect. So culturally it doesn't go very well. So social culture still plays a very big information. Also, maybe then there's also the coverage of the information, even where the girls reach. Still, the level of sensitization on issues of the sexuality is low. You understand? So that also puts our girls at risk. So it means generally the information of sexual reproductive health information to the communities is not all that. At times they pass it through radio, but how many times do young people listen to radio? True. So organizations come on radio, they go on text shows. At times they write them on papers, but few of them take time to read, and also maybe to read some of these things, so it becomes very difficult. So that is also, I think there's also the information gap when it comes to information. At times information may be there, but accessing it becomes difficult. So especially young people, get the information to become difficult for them.
Okay, as we're still talking about access to information on sexual and reproductive health, I love the fact that you pointed out the cultural bit of it. It's still a barrier because I know of many organizations who have tried, that have tried to go on ground to give information on sexual reproductive health in communities and in schools, and they have been met with a lot of opposition. So as SEFTRA, I know you have had such encounters. How have you dealt with such scenarios?
Okay, yeah, that is true very, very well. But normally, the approach we use what we call the community-led approach. In whatever interventions we do, we normally we bring in the community in the things we do, because first of all, we sensitize the community. We make sure they understand that the issue of teenage pregnancy is real, and at times as the community, where the causes, the issue of poor parenting, which still goes back to the community. You understand? Most of us as a community, we have lost our responsibility. Those days, the children used to belong to the community. Nowadays, the children belong to Ayot or belong to Godfrey. Yeah. Because those days, when a child does something bad, or a child is found in a wrong place, maybe in where he's not supposed to be, even people take caution, maybe by saying this kid back, maybe control the caution. But there's even as you move around, as you leave the studio, move around, you'll find maybe young girls even passing in dark places alone. So what can you expect? So that means the responsibility of children now has been left on the individual parents, not as a community. So, but of course, as an organization, we're still doing a lot when it comes to mindset change, because some of this thing goes with the mindset. Because the mindset of the community, because once we believe as the community, as the Logbara community, that when a girl is born, I used to see people celebrating. But I also ask myself, why are people celebrating when a girl is born? Kumbe, they walk out the cows. Even the fact that the name they give to a girl in Logbara, Zamva, or the meat, you see, that means a girl is just reduced. So that means when a girl begins pulling up, maybe the body begins growing, breasts begin coming. So even their parents would stop their girls. Why don't you? That's yes, when a girl wants to abstain, say I want to keep her safe, maybe I want to fast finish my school like this, but they will begin giving the girl names that in Logbara, maybe like Ilempagori or something like that. You want to be, you know how pumpkin that the ripe one takes long. So they keep discouraging. So as an organization, we are really dealing with the harmful cultural norms that puts women still aside, that doesn't encourage or doesn't give women to realize their full potentials. So as an organization, we're doing that. We're into communities, but also we're into schools, because we believe education is power. When you're educated, you can able to liberate yourself from some of these things. So as this so much, we put more emphasis in schools. We've been into schools, but also how with the community, we also do engage communities. Through community dialogues, we do engage communities. Then the sensitization, also like in radios, we are proud that Westnile TV under this hard talk, this is also pass information to the communities. Yeah, because of late the TV has so many viewers and the many people who follow it. So this is another platform to pass information about when it comes to teenage pregnancy to communities. Yes.
That is interesting. You have clearly brought out the bit where we have, you called it the harmful tradition, or the way people do things, that people still continue to do things, where a girl is looked at. A girl is born and then people see cows, they start counting cows. Well, you're not going to count our cows anytime soon. But that is the sad reality. In many communities, people still count cows. And like you said, they tell girls, once a girl starts reaches puberty and then the breasts start shooting, you find they're talking, why aren't you getting married and all that. And this still remains one of the biggest problems that challenges that stands in the way of fighting teenage pregnancy. Bring this clearly. How are you dealing with this problem in the communities? Because if it's not well tackled, lots of girls are going to be pressured, pushed into these marriages, because now people are talking. She's not ready, but people are talking. Somehow she'll have to find her way to someone's place.
Yeah, that's true. One thing is which the communities, maybe some of these girls, people didn't know is about their rights. That I have a right to have a right to abstain, have a right to my body. Understand? So we're trying to explain to the communities about their rights. That I have a right to do this. So that means there are laws that the county has set. There are policies that have been put on the ground. Sometimes some of these things, they're done out of ignorance. So one thing we're doing is we're trying, because we have the national strategy on end teenage pregnancy. We have laws that guys against when it comes to defiling the young girls, when it comes to putting the abuse against children, maybe the girls, there are laws that protect them. So one thing what we're doing is to let the communities know what are their rights. And we're also trying to do what we call, encourage to call the referral pathways. Where do you go next to? You understand? When you get these kind of things, when you also maybe there are some of these pregnancies that come out of abuse, like rape. A girl is raped or a girl is forced. Maybe out of how, maybe a sugar daddy comes, he wants a second wife and he's pointing that he wants a 16-year-old girl who was just maybe who is very young. So when these cases come as a community, first of all, but when it reaches that level of abuse or maybe like that, once there's no negotiation, we just directly encourage the communities or even ourselves, you are taken, you face the courts, you face the laws. So one thing as we're doing is to let the communities know their rights. Also, because also sensitization, we sensitize the communities as the organization that the dangers of this giving our girls at tender age. And also tell them the advantage of what if the girl studied, what if the girl maybe reached that big, what if the girl maybe was mature enough, what the benefits that the girl is going to bring to the community. Then that's limiting this girl to be a housewife there at the age. There are things that maybe even the health-wise, because the health of this girl is at risk. There are girls who can't give birth. They're going to maybe do operations, even pushing the child becomes difficult. At the end, you lose the girl, maybe you lose the woman. So these are things we're trying to sense the community about that. But the most important is to make them the referral pathways. What goes when something happens like that? When we're trying to tell the LCs, there are things that we cannot negotiate. When you defile a girl, when you make a girl pregnant at that age, we can't. There are things you must face law. The people who are trying to negotiate this outside the law say maybe no, let's pay this. But when you are got, even you and that your family and that LC, maybe those who helped you there are all taken. Yes.
Okay, interesting. And now when we're looking at the causes of this teenage pregnancy, we see that there are different people who share the blame in this, because fingers have been pointed to the girls, the victims also themselves, and we also see the parents playing a role in that, aside from the society, and also the government shares part of blame in this. So how do these different categories of people contribute to this vice of teenage pregnancy?
Thank you very much, my sister. I think I'm going to begin with the parents. I think as a parents, most of the parents have failed their parental duties. We have left our girls, we have left our young people in the hands of maids. In the names of the work, it's true, because I know all of us will hustle, put food on table, while run up and down, but how many oftentimes do we take to look at our children? When you come home, our children get abused by even the neighbors, our children get abused by the watchman we employ, our children get abused by the people who live within our houses, but we don't care. What we know is only the parents leave home in the morning, very in the morning, they're returning in the evening. But the parents even don't care about the needs of our girls. Some of these girls, they have their needs. When a girl reaches menstruation, when a girl begins experiencing this, the girl needs a pad. Now, as a parent, when a girl comes to us for a pad, we say, we don't have money for pad, but we see you drinking. So when this border guy on the roadside gives the girl maybe a money to buy, or maybe a boy, he said that boys beginning giving their boy money, then definitely, because you know the money of a boy, it does not come free. It doesn't come free. You must pay for it. So you find a case that means a girl is going to get conceived. So as a parent, we have failed as a parents, as parenting. Then secondly, also as a parents, we have lost control of our children. We said what children have defeated us. A girl, you don't have even that relationship, how to relate to their girls, how to relate to your children, as defeated theirs. You can't even say, you can't even educate your child when it comes to issues of sexuality. Give your child that, you know, now you have a body change like this, don't allow boys to touch you, these parts, like this. We don't give our children that advice. So, then when those things comes, then the blame comes back to us. But also the major, also one of the factors that also exists is poverty. Because most of our parents are very poor. Because you bear with me, in this country, that is, the cost of living has gone so high. The cost of living has gone so high, and many people are has on hand to mouth. So that means the poverty still play a very, very vital role when it comes to sustainability of our girls. So many parents don't meet the needs of our girls. So what do our girls do? So if you're a parent, you cannot provide for your girl, you cannot provide for them, definitely they're going to look for this help outside. So when they go outside, they look for some of these helps, so whatever comes in their mind. So that means whatever money they get on the road, many of these girls are going to rely on the boyfriends. Many of these girls are going to rely on the gifts. And some of the, as I said before, some of these gifts don't come free. So they have to pay for them. So what's the end result? A girl is going to conceive. So we have seen scenarios where girls, girls got look for money in different ways. Not some wanted to get, but the condition is beyond them. There's nothing they can do. So as parents, we still have a very big role to play when it comes to teenage pregnancy. One, supporting our children. Two, educating them about their body changes, guiding them. And then also mentoring our children. We need to mentor our children. Yeah. Because the issue of mentoring, first of all, how to mentor our children? Even as a parent, that means we also need to live a good life. If you're going to live also a fake life as a parent, a children, you can't mentor somebody because your lifestyle. So that means as parents, we need to do a lot. So as one of the stakeholders that contribute a lot when it comes to teenage pregnancy is the parents.
Okay. Now, when we also look at, there's this statement that usually goes in our community that people normally say it, but I don't think it's right, personally anyway. That is because once a girl conceives, someone doesn't know how this girl conceived, whether she was sexually abused or maybe she was forced into this by other factors. People jump into conclusions and judging these girls who may be victims in these cases. By the way, there's this saying in Lugbaratu, they say so literally saying you're a jumpy girl, that's how you just went on unconceived. Is that true? Are there some of these girls responsible for some of the conditions that they find themselves in relation to teenage pregnancy?
Yeah, that is true. That's very true. There are some of these girls really who also contribute to some of these things. First of all, one thing about is the lifestyle you live. You understand? You know as a girl where I come from. You know your family, the capacity of what your family can be able to achieve, what your family can afford. But at times, as girls, we want to live in a life that we cannot sustain. You have seen maybe you, my friend, maybe Ayot is living a good life. You have smartphone. As a young girl of 16 or 15, then I want to do anything it takes to get maybe the smartphone to make that grace. Maybe somebody is gracing. So that means we are going to do those things. Also, the girls even nowadays the dress code also first of all itself. I'm not against the modern dressing code, but there's some dressing codes that really you see when that's too exposing. So that means you also know as men we are moved by what we see. As men you are moved by what they see. So that means as a girl also when you expose your body to a level that maybe it is going to attract us, maybe that's why you find the case where girls are raped. Not because this was the way you expose yourself. So girls also, that is true. It is true. Girls also contribute, some of them, but of course it also contributes to being the cause that we were talking about.
Okay. We shall come back with this discussion on the causes of teenage pregnancy, because if we cannot understand the cause of this teenage pregnancy, then every intervention that we are doing right now on ground that we have done cannot solve this problem. So when we come back, we'll still be on the causes and still have more to discuss in relation to the effect and also what can be done, what interventions are being done by the different organizations and also the government, and how the community can all join hands in fighting this vice. Don't go away. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian. See you shortly after this break.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
our football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish for Master Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish for Master Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that very short break. This is still Westnile TV with me, Ayot, Lillian, and this is the Real Talk. Don't forget, every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. We also stream live on our YouTube channel, on Westnile YouTube channel, where you can interact with us and tell us exactly what you're feeling regarding our topic of discussion today. I know it's a very cold weather today here in Arua, but you can get a cup of coffee or tea and sit back as you catch the discussion. And if you have just joined us here in the studio, our topic of today is on teenage pregnancy. The issue is that there's a big concern in the rising rate of teenage pregnancy globally, but when we zero down to Uganda, we are also leading in the cases of teenage pregnancy. And also when we come back to Westnile, we are still one of the regions that is, if not the region leading, one of the regions leading in the cases of teenage pregnancy. And that has been attributed to the COVID-19, where we registered a really high number of teenage pregnancy here in Westnile. And like Godfrey had already said, Terego and Arua districts are among the leading districts here in Westnile with the highest number of teenage pregnancies. Now we are trying to understand the causes of this teenage pregnancy, because we see a lot of organizations are on ground doing a lot of work, and also the government putting in efforts, and also the community is now also working together to ensure that we get rid of this vice, but instead the numbers are going up. So what are we not doing right? And that is when we were still discussing the causes of teenage pregnancy, because we want to understand the root cause of this issue before we even start addressing it, because if we do not understand it, then we may be addressing something that we do not understand. We had extensively discussed that with Godfrey, and in the studio we have been joined by a guest coming in from Peace for Women. Let's get to know her before we continue with this discussion.
Good evening, viewers. Nice to meet you, Madam Moderator. I am Kola Baru Peace. I work for Peace for Women, Westnile.
It's a pleasure having you here in the studio of Westnile TV. I believe we're going to have a fruitful discussion on this.
Yeah, sure.
Before you joined us, we were looking at teenage pregnancy, the context and the definition, and also we want to paint a picture of teenage pregnancy here in Westnile, so that we know what we are really talking about.
Sure. When you look at teenage pregnancy in Westnile, it's so alarming right now. That's why you see many organizations, many CBOs are coming up to address the issue of teenage pregnancy. Peace for Women particularly right now is addressing issue of teenage pregnancy as well. Much as our beneficiaries are women, but we work hand in hand to see that our girls should grow up and should be somebody, should be presentable in future, should be maybe, and should be MP, should be a person who can be able to talk for the community. That's why we are here to say, let's together end teenage pregnancy.
Okay, so according to you, Gladys, what are some of the leading causes of teenage pregnancy here in Westnile?
First of all, I would say lack of parental guidance. As parents, we are forgetting about our girls. Not only our girls, even our boys. We see that your girl is doing something wrong, but you fear to tell this lady, because you feel if you will tell her the truth, she will say that, okay, let me do what is good for myself. But you forget your role as a parent, that if a mother sits with her daughter and tells her, please, my daughter, if you have sex, just know that there are two things involved. One is you will get pregnant at an early age. Two, you will get HIV, and this comes in together with other repercussions. Once you get pregnant at your early age, just know HIV, just know even giving birth, the child alone you give birth to will not be healthy. Let's say that low birth weight for this child. So it is always advisable as parents, let's pick it up together and we talk to our girls, we talk to our ladies. At the early age, the better.
Okay, interesting. Talking about parents having a talk with their girls, we see that we have a big problem in this era where parents, like Godfrey earlier on said, parents don't have time for their own children. They've left their children for the maids and other people to take care of. So it's important for a parent to talk, especially to the girl child, about these things. Most girls lack these kinds of teaching because, one, maybe they parents feel they cannot talk to their children, the children are too young to access this information. So I'd like to know, as a woman, how would you advise such parents?
Yeah, as a woman, you know, I'm also a mother at home.
Okay,
I have
as
girls,
a mother.
yes, thank you. I have girls that I nurture. I always tell them the truth. We sit together and address issues. You know, they have challenges. They can't open up. Don't ask. They will shy off. What I normally do, and I expect mothers to do as well, is make sure that your girls, you're free with your children at home. Engage these girls in talkings. You know, sexual reproductive health is very key. When you're talking to them, be open, don't fear, because the moment you fear, just know they will also shy away from you. So it is important to give your humble time for these girls and address such issues.
Okay, that is interesting coming from you there. One thing I picked up from what Gladys has said is that as parents, you should feel free with your children. Learn to create that atmosphere where you have a free conversation with your children, because I first of all believe these children know these things. It doesn't matter where they get this information from. So as a parent, if you do not sit to clarify some, maybe filter some of this information that your kids have access to, then we're still going to have this problem of teenage pregnancy going on, disturbing us as a country. Turning back to Godfrey, you had defined, you know, the age bracket for teenage pregnancy starting from 15 to 18. But we see that it's not the case here in Westnile, because we've seen children younger than even 3 years. I don't want to say 3 years, but 5 years engaging in sexual activity. By the way, that is true. So where do these children get to learn these kinds of things, and how can we see to it that they don't get access to such information? Because once they have access to this information, they get into sexual activities that result into these things, this teenage pregnancy.
Thank you very much. The issue of the content, the accessibility of content, that's, you know, the world is heading to, the world has become what we call the global village. So the world has gone so technology that everyone has access to technology. So but now the question is, what are our children watching? What are our children accessing? We have got, if you go to homes, we have parents who have left their phones with the children. You have seen girls, you have young people, even who are now on social media, who are on Facebook, who are on what, and it becomes very hard to tell them that don't use Facebook, don't use this. First of all, it becomes very, very difficult. But what can we do? I think the best thing for us we can do is to regulate. Maybe sit down with your children and tell them that the information you get online, the information you read, sometimes is not up to date. It's not going to be everything you believe. Then secondly is, and maybe even the young ones, maybe the content maybe you watch from them. There's what you call normally in TV, they call parental guidance. When you are watching, when you are setting programs for your children, now learn what your children are watching. Even sometimes, even as parents, we know our children access some of our phones. Sometimes we have pornography in our phones. We have naked women in our phones. We have naked photos in our phones. We don't control. So the question is, what content are you carrying in your phone, first of all, as you give to children? Then second, the program you give children to watch. So you see, so that means, I think the thing all you need to do is to regulate what children need to watch and what time they need to watch. And then because you see, when the children are the age of between 10 to 14, so this is another age where children want to imitate everything they see. That's another stage of adolescence. So the children, as a parent, as a mother, as a caregiver, you have to be very, very careful what you tell the children, what you do near children. Even their children, there are people who do maybe, like, let me say, let me give that's one example. We had a maid who was staying in our home. So this maid was dating with some guy, but there are some young girls who are around this day. So they'll be dating on the phone, they go into deeper conversation. some words. So you come home as a parent, you hear your child speaking some words. Now you're like, where is the kid getting these words? So that means the content, what we say to your children, even mothers, even the some parents, you begin maybe you said you have 2 children. We know love is very good. Maybe your mother, the wife, maybe you begin maybe say you begin to kiss yourself with your children. So the children think this is a normal thing. So it's more, don't be surprised to see the boy and the girl, they begin kissing each other because they say, where did you get it from? Say, I saw the dad and mom were doing it. So dealing with the children, because at that age children want to imitate everything they see. So regulating the content they watch is what matters, because it's very hard to tell them that don't do this. So even if you stop them, from neighbors they will see. In your home you may stop them, but the neighbor, because you're not home always, times you're at workplace. So the neighbors, even the husband has a smartphone, or the neighbors have, they will come out, they will see. So I think, as my colleague he said, it's all about parenting. Parenting, we be talking to our children, because there's responsibility to bring our children upright. It begins with us. If we are going to fail to bring our children right, that means these causes we're talking about are going to continue. Thank you. Yes.
Interesting there. Now that he has pointed it, parental guidance is very important. Like Gladys wants to add.
I am Peace.
Oh, sorry, Peace.
I just want to add a little bit on what he has said. You know, we parents, we tend to do things in love because we love our children, which is very right, but we must have a limit. Allowing your phone to be accessed by your child, and yet you know that you have pornography movies in your phone at any time. You know, these kids have learned, they have grown. This is now a digital world, I may say, where a child can just access anything at any time, because now you've given him or her the freedom to access your phone. So we should limit our phones to our children. We should direct them. Yes, not their iPads or their pads that children do access e-learning, which is online, fine, but at least you know you should put a restriction in that pad the kid will be using or will use. And the other thing is, you know, when we let me say, when it comes to bedroom affairs, a child is already 3 years, but you're still sleeping with this child. What will this child not do? The child will grow up knowing that, yes, there is sex. Oh, there's this, I have to do, I have to kiss. Meaning that the child, for instance, if it is a girl, the child is a girl, at the age of 10, maybe she has feelings already, will start to see men. The end result is pregnancy, which we are advocating and which we are saying no to early pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to touch on what both of you have just said, because you've put it so direct, and that is going to the parents. But most importantly, learn to regulate the kind of content your children have access to. And also at some age, don't share a room with your children. Before we go away from the causes of teenage pregnancy, I want us to look at the role education plays in this. I had started with a friend's story where she says she went back to the village where she did her pre-primary school, and her colleagues already all married, they had children. Of course, they conceived at their teenager period, and so for her, she went for further studies. I think she moved from the area for studies. So what role does education play in relation to teenage pregnancy? Does it contribute to it, or does it help reduce teenage pregnancy?
Okay, thank you, Madam Moderator. It is very interesting that education nowadays play a bigger role in moderating these young girls. You may realize that a girl goes to school, leaves the parents home, but now when she reaches at school, she is in the safer hands with the teachers. The senior woman teacher who always gives education, let me say, a guidance to these girls. I remember way back at school, we used to have a senior woman teacher. In a month, at least once, we would sit together with her. She will educate us. She will tell us, don't sleep with a boy, don't make sure that a boy should not touch you anyhow, respect your body, you know, such teachings. You know, so I may say that once you go to school and give yourself time and interact with your female teachers and make sure that you utilize their time maximally so that you get the best out of them, and which will impact in your life positively. You will know that, yes, I know what I need in life. I know what I need to do in life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that input. Now, as we turn to Godfrey, we have seen that education does play a big role, like she said. So, does uneducated girls stand a bigger chance of knowing her sexual reproductive health rights, and also in making decisions when it comes to her sexual life?
Yes, Lillian, that's true. Education plays a very, very important role when it comes to calming down the issue of teenage pregnancy. Normally, we're saying that an educated lady, educated girl can do anything. So when a girl is educated, a girl is going to know her rights. A girl who's educated will know that the dangers, that whatever I'm going to do, this is going to be the repercussion of that. So of course, we have tried to do when it comes to education. We have done a lot of, we have educated a lot of girls. Maybe when it comes to the communities, we have trained what we call the champions. These girls, maybe the champions. So after training them, they go up there. They also act as role models. We have champions in the villages that used to help other girls. That, you know what, that through education, they still what things can move. Yeah. We have girls who maybe who got pregnant and who are given a second chance to go back to school. Now those ones, now they're speaking. Now they have also become champions. Now they have become experienced. Now they tell other young people, this is what we go through. But if it's because of education like this, or not be someone like this. So at times we ask parents to give their children second chance, send the children back to school. Even at that time, remember when the government passed a resolution that any girl who is pregnant should be allowed to do a test, or maybe who has the kids should be allowed to go back to school. And those they all, because they saw there's the importance of education, and because they know when you are educated, you're able to make informed decision, you're able to make a decision that is mature, you're able to make decision that is able to be helpful to you and also support others. So education plays a very vital role when it comes to capping down the disease of teenage pregnancy in our region.
Okay,
yes.
That is very, very interesting discussion right there. One thing I want to point out is that a lot of people have come out complaining, you know, this group of people want to cap down teenage pregnancy. We're all fighting teenage pregnancy, but one important fact is that we have ignored a key player in all this, and that's they say the boy child has been sidelined when it comes to fighting teenage pregnancy, because if the boy child does not understand the dangers of this teenage pregnancy, if the boy child does not understand the role they play in all this, then I don't think we are fighting anything. So the question is, what role does the boy child play in curbing teenage pregnancy?
Yeah.
But we start. Is it true they have been sidelined?
Yeah, you're right. They have been sidelined, but as organizations, we have been making sure that we bring these boys together. We give them a lot of information in a way that they should know that when they are making love with girls, or maybe they're doing ABCD in their private life, they should know that it comes out the impact. So we sensitize them, we give them information, we make them that they come together in groups to make sure that they're able to, they are not left out. Yes.
Okay, so you're saying the boy child has been included in this fight against teenage pregnancy. Godfrey, what do you have to say as a boy child? Because I've had a lot of complaints. I believe one has come from you sometime.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad that you women, you realize that our voice matters. You realize that we also matter in this struggle, because all along the struggle has been the women empowerment, which is very good, which we're not against that. But the question is, also what I think you guys also, one thing you forgot, that after getting empowered, so whom are you going to marry? Because we have the issues that, because if you have the cases that We have women who is going to be empowered and is going to get married to a man who is not empowered. That means the issues of domestic violence are still going to be there. The issues of GBV are going to continue. Because now, I think the women themselves realize that there's need to get boy child on board. I think maybe some of your meetings as you start, you realize that. But as an organization, we realize the boy child plays a very big role. First of all, there's that mutual relationship between a boy and a girl. Because when a boy knows that this is a girl and how to treat a woman, how to treat a woman. Because if I don't know that, because I will feel maybe when I get a woman, maybe when the opportunity comes, maybe where to the only next thing is to jump on a woman, maybe to rape a woman, because that's what for me according to maybe how I know. But if you're going to be trained, if you're going to be empowered, I will know what you're my sister. If maybe even if it is a relationship, there are things you're supposed your voice must matter. Today maybe your voice must matter. You must know that today we're not going into sex. Maybe if you're going to sex, this sex has to be on consent. You understand? Yes. So because it's not about maybe just behaving like animals, but I think the effort has been going back, but the level of still engaging the boy child is not up to date. Because still a lot of young people outside there, a lot of young men up there who still feel they're not empowered and who are still behaving in an awkward way. Not because they wanted to be, because they don't have the knowledge like that. So as Peace said, it is a collective effort. Many organizations, many agencies, people are going to that. They're going to bring back boy child, and I'm glad it's not too late. It's not too late, but it's not too late, and all interventions we do, let us bring boy child. And even as organizations, as we do activities, when we are meeting the girls, when we call the girls, we call boys. Let them understand when we talk about gender balance, when we talk about gender roles, when we talk about gender mainstreaming, they should understand. As a boy, this is my strength. This is what I can do. Even my sister can do so. Or what I can do, my sister can do better. You understand? So these are things we're trying to impart in the parents. Because like I met one parent when he had two girls and boys. Then they said, what? First we're going to give the school fees to the boy. Now ask what about the girl? Say, this one maybe it's going to get maybe just to get maybe cows, maybe get married, so that I use the school fees to pay these boys. But I told you girl, I told you man. If I was you, I would give them equal chance. You understand? Because there are so many things we have come to learn even women can do better than even men. There are women who lifted the families, who have stood with the families. But because from there, I want to go to look at my wife and I stop there. So there's need to empower the boy child. The boy child, also the girl child, at the same time that they go at the same space.
That's an interesting argument right there. So if you've just joined the conversation, this is the Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, and our topic of today is teenage pregnancy, as acknowledging the fact that it's a global problem and a problem that we are grappling with as a country and also as a region. We had intensively discussed the causes of teenage pregnancy, ranging from forced marriage to sexual abuse, girls and boys not knowing their sexual reproductive health rights, among other challenges like the cultural and all that. It's true, boys have been feeling that they've been neglected. This argument came sometime, and a friend was saying they have not been neglected because all these interventions, for example, school visits are done where girls both boys and girls are talked to. The radio talk shows are not for a specific gender, but we do not forget the fact that the male gender plays a very big role in this. Don't go away. We shall still continue with this discussion after this break. After this short break, we'll come with the impact or the effect this has had on the individuals, the families, the society, and also on the country. See you shortly.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Junior Center Move.
It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Start Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it.
What a finish from Fukume.
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it.
What a finish from Fukume.
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome from that brief break, commercial break. Thank you for joining us on this today's episode. For those who have just joined us right now, we are talking about teenage pregnancy and what it has done in our various communities. I know when you talk about teenage pregnancy, this is not something new because it's something that is emphasized in our different communities, and globally it is a problem that we are dealing with. So now today, basically in the studio, we have two CBOs in the studio to discuss with us this topic, because these people have been in the field seeing that we deal with this problem of teenage pregnancy. Now it could be you or me contributing to this vice in our different society, being it a girl or a boy or a parent, or you are an organization out there. We all have a role to play in this. We looked at the causes of teenage pregnancy already, and right now we want to focus on some of the interventions that have been done by the different organizations. I know the biggest question has been that there are very many organizations that are all trying to fight, that are working towards fighting teenage pregnancy in the various places, be it region, countries, and globally. But specifically in the context of Uganda, I want to bring it down to West Nile. That we have very many organizations trying to work this, and they even reached a point where leaders were asking themselves what is not being done right, because a lot of interventions have been put in place, but the vice is still rising constantly. So now we want to pose this question to these two organizations here. We have SEFTRA and we have Peace for Women. What are some of the interventions that you are doing to see that we curb teenage pregnancy here in West Nile? So ladies first. I'd like to give this chance to Peace to take us into some of the activities that Peace for Women is doing, and also some other organizations are doing, because it's a collective effort that we are all doing to see that we curb teenage pregnancies.
Okay, thank you so much. One of the intervention as Peace for Women we are doing right now is we have formed girls groups. Like right now we have 3 functioning girls group, girls between age of 15 to 25. We bring them together. There's intervention that we call Girl Power. Girl Power that we administer to these girls. We make sure that we give them hope, the lost hope of having child, of not going back to school. We bring them together, we talk to them, we encourage them that yes, even if you've produced, you still have hope to go back to school. We also go down to a grassroots level, door-to-door awareness that we do. We bring in the parents together, we counsel them, because we have scenarios that the girls reporting parents to us that they can't go back to school because they say they have child. They should sit home. And maybe a lady came to me and told me so. So I picked it up. I went to these parents. I went to her parents. We sat down and we came up with possible solutions. Right now I'm speaking. This girl is able to go back to school. She's studying. She's right now completing P4. Yes, she went back to P3. Now she's in P4. regardless of age. She's very happy. She's with hopes of becoming somebody in future. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peace, for talking about that. I mean, those are one of the success stories that they have registered. Yeah, it's true, a lot of effort is being done and it's really working. But as the question still remains, why is it going high? So we'll go to Godfrey to take us through some of the activities that you are doing as SEFTRA to see that we kick teenage pregnancy out of Westnile, and also what other organizations are doing. I believe you work in consortium. It's a collective effort, like I already said earlier.
Thank you very much, Ayot. Yeah, it's true, as an organization we're doing lots when it comes to the fight against teenage pregnancy and early marriage in Westnile. One thing we have done for young people is through we have offered what's called the safe space. Because the safe space, if you come to our office and if you where the hub is where we have safe space where young people get information. We have young people who are trained on the issues of how to make sanitary pads. We have young people who are able to get information on the sexual reproductive health information, maybe on flyers, on books, and maybe some other contents to get. So that's one. That the safe space is one of the important things where we pass information to young people. And then secondly, we also realize the parents, because many of our parents in the region are very poor. So what are we doing as this? We have rolled what we call the VSLA system, that's the village savings scheme, where in some of this we have formed both the teenage mothers, the teenage mothers who have also formed their circle groups, where they save some of their monies. We train them financial literacy, we train them digital literacy, where they're able to save some of their monies, maybe they save monies to be able to support some of their children. Apart from that, we also try to do farming with them. Their backyard farming, these farming practices we do with some of these the teenage mothers and even the parents. So that's because the livelihood can be improved, because we realize since the poverty is a key driving factor, so we said why can't we also be able to encourage this sort of farming? That's why we're able to give seedlings to the farmers. We will give seeds to the parents so that they're able to plant. As I talk now, if you go to Terego, if you go to the rural district, if you go to Maracha, we have different circle groups of teenage mothers. So then even they have, some have been trained on things of IGA, income generating activities, where some are able to raise their goals, some are able to do some things. Then out of this, some have managed to go back to school. Then we have also then the organizations their organizations, there are also some institutions like who have also supported our teenage mothers to go back to school, to do maybe tailoring. Some even went to do plumbing. Some went, we have girls who are doing welding and plumbing here in the rural here. So those are our teenage mothers. So they are, because we also, as an organization, we also ran a campaign called Give Us a Second Chance. So that this campaign went on social media, and the community was saying that conceiving a child is not the end of the life. So you can conceive and still go back to school. So through this we were able to give them second chance, link some of them to some donors, some schools, as you know, someone. But one of the girls we linked now is graduating on December 8th. Our first beneficiary, who is a teenage mother, who will try to link to some support, and this is graduating in this December. And I think glad we're going to celebrate our graduation. So that's something to boast about. That we're able to touch people's lives outside there. So that's this, I think, some interventions we're doing. Also the issue of the continuous community dialogues, the community engagement with the communities, telling them that this teenage pregnancy is something very bad, is something dangerous that can be able to affect our girls. So the communities and duty bearers were able to come into contact. So also apart from that, we also do what you call referral pathways, where it becomes worse, where cases where they're beyond the parent, we're also able to forward the case where we've got people arrested who have abused the girls, people who have ignored, people who have got girls pregnant, who have run away. We've also tried to look some of them manually and bring them back to book. Yes. Yeah,
to add on what he has said, you know, we do a lot of things. Right now we are focusing on doing consortium, Peace for Women together with the young, that is YW Connects. We are working in together to make sure that we achieve the common goal. So you realize that Peace for Women and YW Connect, we have a theme we call it a theme, because on that theme we go to field together, we give skilling to these young girls. Right now they are able to generate their own income. They have, they are making liquid soaps, others are on mandazi making. So at the end of it, that you realize that they get money to support themselves regardless of what they are going through. And besides, we give them PSS, that's psychosocial support. We counsel them, we talk to them one-on-one. You realize these girls, sometimes they fear to open up, as I'd said earlier on. So we go to them, they open up, we counsel them, we give them hope so that they can cope up with life.
Okay, I believe our viewer out there is listening attentively to this discussion. Now, if you're catching this discussion, you also let us know what you think about this topic, and to address the question that the many organization, why is it that teenage pregnancy is still on the rise? Now, we've heard from them some of the interventions that they are doing, and I believe some of us have seen it in the communities and are also beneficiaries of some of these programs that are put out there by this organization. But still, that doesn't answer the question, why is this teenage pregnancy on the rise despite all these efforts that are being made? So now I want us to understand from these different organizations, I know they are doing a lot, but then the challenges they are facing. Of course, we want to understand these challenges that you face in the fight against teenage pregnancy.
Yeah, sure, we face a lot of challenges while implementing these activities. First of all, some parents, they don't cooperate with us. They feel what we are doing, we are supposed to give it wholesomely. So we don't have it, but we give what we can. You realize a parent will come with a complaint. How the daughter is not listening, she's doing ABCD, she needs ABCD, you to do, but she, or the parents, forgets that the first role or the first help comes from him. So it's a very big challenge for us. Sometimes interacting with different stakeholders, also we face challenges. Let me say that local leaders, if really they can cooperate with us 100%, just know that we are on go. Some leaders, they are not cooperating with us. So it's a little bit challenging, but I believe still we are not going to give up. We have to pick our hose and fight against it together. Thank you.
Okay, there you have heard it coming from Peace for Women. Speaking on behalf of Peace for Women, I believe also on behalf of some organizations, why the fight is not being won yet. That's because of the challenges that they face within their organizations and also from the community where these interventions are being done. So now let's get to hear from SEPTRA what challenges they face as they implement some of these programs to fight teenage pregnancy.
Thank you very much, Ayot. As I said, yeah, as we do implement, as we try to put our heads together to see how best we can be able to reduce or do away with this kind of teenage pregnancy. But one of the major reasons that is still a challenge to us is still the cultural norms, the harsh cultural norms that they still set, that still keep existing, where our girls are constantly looked as bride. Because they're going to find a girl that is going to get conceived at a young age, then as organization, as we try to come into this girl's rescue, then the whole village is going to be against you. That is it your daughter, first of all, is it your daughter? This is our girl. Who are you? First of all, who are you? Why are you going for your children? So this kind of system, that's still negative, where it becomes very hard for organizations. Even there's some villages where we are being chased. Where they actually that we want to stop us from getting our cows, we want to do this. So still that mindset, that's still negative, that where women are still, where girls are all looked at as a source of income, as a source of wealth, still a major setback. So another thing also now with the communities within the poverty is a major blow. Many of our communities are still, many people are still living, there are many people live below $1 a day. So it just means when a girl, when this kind of scenario comes, then the people take advantage of this. A girl goes out, maybe a night call, the girl out, maybe a girl comes late, then where are you coming from? It's like they wait for the girl to come late. You go back where you came from. So the poor girl, maybe because he's not even prepared to do this, because of what the community is doing that, So then it becomes a challenge. So the issue of the community, the issue of the norm, the culture as still something we're battling with, but we're not giving up. We're trying to encourage local Akari because that's the strong institution in our region. And once, I think also local Akari has pronounced itself clear when it comes to some of these abuses. That's when it comes where, because you remember we still have issues like where what some call Aruba, where that when a man abuses maybe a wife or a woman cannot be able to take a man to police. So local Akari has come up on this and all. When you do something, you must be able to face law, and there will be no cultural or institutional, there will be no cultural implications on you. So that means local country is on the clear on that. So that's why we're trying to disseminate this information to the community that any abuse against women, any against children must be reported. So that's going to be a challenge as we face. Then of course also the issue of funds, because to reach as local based organizations we have the issue of funds, because some of these interventions need funding. So then because the funds we have can't allow us to reach the wider community and the deepest village there, so the issue of funds still remains a challenge. But however, as the self-floor, as Peace for Women, as organizations, there are many organizations that do intervention. We have MEPRO, we have our initiative, we have NF, we have CARE, the different organizations that they are doing. All what we are doing is so that our girls live a full potential. Our girls can be able to achieve their dreams. Our girls can be able to achieve what they want to be. So that we are saying that teenage pregnancy is something very bad. Don't make our girls to remain down there. Don't step on our girls. Give them second chance, support them, educate them. They are the future leaders. Because even you see our country now, most of them must be led by the women. The powerful positions in the country now, the Prime Minister, you have to look at the Speaker, the Vice President. So women have the voice. So women can do things better. So let us give them chances and I support them.
Okay, I love the part, the last part of it, where we are all called to support the girl child, you know, to study, make her own decisions, and improve her life by taking her own decisions. Now, a lot of people are sitting there every time you're hearing about teenage pregnancy. I know when these organizations also come to your communities and start talking to you about teenage pregnancy, most people do not pay attention because they don't see how they are affected, or they simply don't get to feel the impact of this teenage pregnancy. It's either they feel it or they just ignore it. But right here, help us understand the impact, the effect that teenage pregnancy has. Let's start from the individual, on the family, in the society, and on the nation at large, even globally. What are some of these effects?
You know, there are a lot of effects, I may say. One is school dropout. At the moment, a lady will realize that she is pregnant, definitely fear to associate with others will come in. She will feel like to be alone, to isolate herself from the rest. The best option will be just for her to drop out from school, which is very wrong mentality. Yes, it comes in, it's not something permanent, but I always advise, yes, it has happened, it's better after giving birth, you have to enroll back to school. Fear makes them to shy away from others. Another impact is sometimes it comes with the issues of infections. HIV, AIDS comes in because you don't know this man you're sleeping with. It might be something like one day, but the end result will be very terrible on this lady. And the impact again goes back to the parents, you know, the weight they will carry. It will be like a burden to them to carry this lady. So it is always advisable for us to make sure that we tell these ladies the truth before it happens. And also you realize that it comes in when this lady conceives, she's very fine, but during the time of delivery, you know, as being a young mother, a young girl, you may fail to push. And maybe in the process you may die, maybe overbleeding, something funny can happen. All this comes in with the problem of teenage pregnancy. My cry outside there is, please, let's talk to our girls. We should not leave them out. We should not say that, no, you have conceived, go pack and go to your husband. Of which, reaching there, she will fail even to cope up with life. Again, she'll come back to us as parents. So it is advisable for us to continuously never to give up on our girls, because they are the nations of tomorrow.
Okay, I'd like you to put an emphasis on what bearing this has on the parents.
On the parents, girls, I may say that girls, we should not see them as source of income because they are part of us. Forever they will be part of us because this child is your blood. It is not advisable for you to deny your roles as a parent to them, but rather to accommodate and guide them correctly.
Okay, thank you, Pisa, for that beautiful piece of advice out there going to our parents. So, turning to Godfrey, what are some of these socio-economic impact of teenage pregnancy on the individual, on the family, on the region, on the country at large?
Thank you very much, Ayot. As like I said, it is really something very, very bad. It's something so sad that we will see a lot of young girls go down when it comes to teenage pregnancy. And one of the things that one of the impact that keep is, let me say, the health, because we have seen most of these girls even pushing children, it becomes difficult. Some have gone into operations, and the ends they find the girl loses life. We have lost a lot of young girls in the process of giving birth because somebody conceived at the age of 14, so at 13, it becomes very difficult to give birth. So we have lost a lot of girls at that age. And then also, because this is also the chain of poverty also continues, because when you're going to get girls who are going to conceive at young age, who are going to come back to the parents, they're going to be burdened to the parents. That means you can't even come out to that the chain. Because if you are the girls who are educated, if you are some of them who have studied, who have gone mature, maybe who have got jobs, you are going to support maybe the families. Now that maybe they can't go to school again, it becomes a challenge. Even the parents comes home. Then the issue of the domestic violence, the GBV continues. You understand? The GBV continues because when these kids get pregnant, when they come back, there will be no peace at home. There's one corner to another, blame game going on. So it has not of even the economy itself. Because the people who are supposed to contribute the economy and they're not productive now. The young people are supposed to be productive, the economy, and they're not productive. Because it affects the economy. Even the taxes, because we're going to have an economy where people are not paying taxes because people are poor. But if you go, this is all caused by the teenage pregnancy. You understand? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Godfrey, for elaborating that deep. I believe we have gotten his point, and I want us to understand that teenage pregnancy does not only bear on one person, I mean the victim or the girl in question, because it has a lot. First of all, the girl is affected, her life, education, her everything could be paralyzed, because it also comes with a lot of discrimination from the society. People start pointing fingers at the girl and also at the family. Now, for you as a boy, we've seen cases where boys run away from the villages to go somewhere because they have impregnated an underage girl. And also on the nation as a whole, this girl becomes in most cases unproductive, like already said earlier on. After conceiving, they just go home and sit and nothing to support themselves and all that. So the cry here is for us to all work together to fight teenage pregnancy. For now, we're going for a short break, but when we come back, we'll deeply look at some of the interventions that have been put in place, particularly by the government, to see that we reduce the rate of teenage pregnancy.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
our football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Ashraf Kukube!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL. Our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome from that break. This is the Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. and this is Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Now don't forget, we also stream live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. You can share with us your thoughts on today's topic of discussion, which is teenage pregnancy. What do you think is not being done to see that we cap the rate of teenage pregnancy in our society, in our region, in our country, despite very many interventions being done by different organizations, the government and also the community, to see that we do away with the teenage pregnancy? How best can we tackle this? Help us also understand it from your point of view on this conversation. And like we said earlier, and we are joined in the studio by our representatives from two organizations, that is SEFTRA Westnile and Women for Peace, right here represented by Peace and Godfrey, respectfully. Thank you for joining us in today's discussion. We have had a very rich discussion on that particular topic. Now, earlier on, Godfrey talked about, one of the challenges being these cultural or traditional ways of doing things, where people are forcing girls, forced marriage, forcing girls to go and get married and resulting into teenage pregnancy. Now, remember, some of these girls are very, very young girls, in between the ages of 15 to 19, being forced into marriage against their will. And lately, we've seen a number of traditional institutions coming in, like Godfrey had mentioned earlier on. The Look Barakari, a master, recommend them a lot. They have been in the fight lately, holding meetings with different organizations to see that some of these things are dealt with, among which is the cases of sexual assault among young girls, among teenagers, that has led to some of them conceiving, leading to teenage pregnancy. So now, Godfrey, how are you? How are the different organizations involving these cultural leaders to see that some of these ways are dealt with? Because I know some see it as a threat to the African traditional society kind of way of living. How are you dealing with this? How are you engaging them?
Thank you very much. Yeah, as you said, we are the local as an institution has also joined the fight, because people are like, why is local required when it comes to issue of teenage pregnancy rate? Because this is our bodies in the community that people listen to. Even now, they are of course the cultural institution, the religious leaders, but I think also we as organizations we came to understand is some of these institutions the lack of so-called capacity. So one thing people are trying to do here is to build the capacity that they are able to do a lot of things, because that capacity becomes difficult. One capacity in terms of resources becomes very hard for them. They build their capacity, then to reach the field, then also even of late. The sex, the priest, the catechist, whoever is that line, because this is so then when they become when they join and when they add their voices on the issues, people use it. Also the media, because the also media plays so crucial role when it comes to issue, because the issue of capping down the teenage pregnancy, the Westnile TV has been doing joining even the sports messages. So the media, apart from Westnile TV, so we have our radios or radio FM. So this is the fight. This is all of us, the stakeholders, even the government people, the government, the local government, the central government, all of us as even individuals. Those who are called social media influencers. I've even seen Miss Tourism, even in the office. I've seen a lot of people who have come up to support the girl child, to pass information that let us support the girl child. So this is all body that they put together. And I can't forget about the issue of localization, because localization means all organizations that they have who are trying to shift the power to communities, because the communities have the solution to the problems. The communities have the local solution to the local problems. So we're trying to empower the communities. The issue of teenage pregnancy, the mindset thing, the community empowerment is what we're trying to do. To build the synergies, build partnerships, not to jump here with peace, because we have come into partnership and with other organizations that they're doing the same thing. It's the collective effort, it's a joint effort that to see that the community gets rid of teenage pregnancy and forced marriages in our region.
Okay, thank you very much for putting that. You want to add? Putting out that clearly, working with engaging different organizations and also the community to see that we all understand how bad this teenage pregnancy is and how together we can fight out teenage pregnancy. Thank you so much, SEFTRA and Peace for Women, for that effort. And now one thing that a very controversial thing that came up I think just this year a few months ago, where the government took a stand actually to allow girls of 15 years old have access to family planning services. This was met and is still being met with a lot of controversy. Okay, people are torn. Other people okay with it, other people are not okay with it, all giving different reasons to justify why they have taken this.
Thank you.